Episode 53 of the Main Golf Show. I'm Twig, joined by the Sticky Bandits. Hep is back. He thought he'd gone AWOL for a week.
Pulling in the
Might have just
crowds.
might have just had a bit of liquidity issues because very quiet whilst 65 account was full. Got a wedding to pay for you.
Someone's got his back on the decline list.
Dish. We're here on the eve of the Genesis Scottish Open, a Rolex Series event. But Marv, just for a quick reflection of last week, I think I put two big hitting outsiders, Gary Higo, T20, Sam Mackey missed the cut. Do you want to remind the listeners who were the Preston pin jobs?
Who the certainties to finish in the place money? Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Griffin, who didn't even make the cut, and Denny McCarthy, who I think finished tied 11th. So to be fair, he didn't do too bad, Denny. But Mr. Top
Then
Gun,
How the fuck has Brian Campbell won two
yeah,
events?
Ben Griffin,
Like,
horrendous.
what is going on?
multiple winners on tour this year: Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and Brian
Mr.
Campbell.
Brian
Oh my
Campbell.
God, it's a huge mosquito. You.
Because they were saying it was his debut season as well, so like he's obviously an older guy, so he sort of had to
Yeah.
grind to sort of get through from the Corn Ferry, I assume. And then how the fuck has he won twice?
I think I read that someone said that he hits the ball like he should be on the seniors tour. He's that like swing speed and everything. He's just like he's like the shortest hitter on tour. But it was just, to be fair to him, tied, likely to a playoff. Just sat there chilling in the bar. Don't need to warm up. Just sit in the bar with a beer.
People don't remember when he won the other tournament. Did you watch
Easy
any?
game.
It was the Mexico Open.
Yeah. Like,
He lost to
Aldrich.
Aldrich Podgita should have beat him. Marv, he hooked his tee shot that far into the trees. It was like that old bagatelle bounce that went, and then just went, whew,
Oh, on the fairway.
and from 40 yards right, it bounced into the fairway, and he ended up laying up.
It was incredible.
Made birdie. Podgita got there in two, made birdie, and then he won at the next playoff hole. You think you could never run that good again. Fucking he did it twice in a year. Yes. And like he said for life, going in.
He's against Grillo, so it's like that's why he wasn't warming up. Like, well, Grillo's gonna fucking hook it into the trees again,
And then he just goes long with his second and
fucking long. Oh, Emiliano.
what that chip. I have no idea what. Well, I know what I was trying to do with the chip, but
Go on, Twig.
he's
Get
just
that
trying to.
mosquito.
Yeah. Although David Lipsky.
Yeah. Lipsky.
I'm sorry, son. We know you were playing for the cash.
Sorry, lads.
Sorry, lad. Sorry, if it's just tied for the lead, you duck hooked it on 18 off the tee. You're 230 to go, and you think, no.
What dollars you
I
have?
like
I'll chip it out basically, and I'll trust my wedge game to get up and down into a playoff. You absolutely shit out of that, David Lipsky.
Doesn't make you a bad person.
Yeah, he's still probably won 900k.
If it was
That
the last
mosquito
tournament
comes
of the
up there
season
again.
and he had to finish tied third to keep his card, but I think he could have been more
What are you
aggressive
trying to say,
and still
Marv? Like,
had right
he
risk
was still
reward
going to
ratio.
trouser. He was still going to trouser a good few quid, even if he bogeyed and finished like tied fourth.
I think to me, if it was this is why I've only ever an amateur golfer, but if it was me, I look. The first one, the problem is he duck hooked it off the tee, and then the stance he had, he was probably very worried. If I do something similar, I'm going in the water. But to me, you could have aimed right, fired it low. Likely, if you find a low shot, you're not going to hook it as much because it's going to bounce a lot more. Play it right. If you miss the green right, there's a bunker, there's whatever. Fine. Then you trust you get up and down. I think to me that was a better chance, in hindsight, a better chance of making a four that way than trusting your wedge game. But to be fair, he hit a good putt, and it just missed. And he slightly walked after it, didn't he? He thought it was in, but you just don't know how many times you're going to get in a position. to win a golf tournament like that.
I think it Matisau or I can't remember what poker player said. In order to live, you have to be prepared to die.
Played it
And
well. Yeah, it's
and I don't think he was willing to kind of let's go for
that's
it.
it. The thing is, he eagled the. Tell me, right? If he doesn't eagle the par 5 17th and he's one behind, it's obviously a no-brainer he goes for it on 18.
Yeah,
To me, he played safe.
it's
I
still
just think, yeah, he played.
the
It's different mentality.
it still defies our luggage how McIlroy laying up at the par five at the Masters and going in the water with his third. Given how good he is at par fives and
Hmm.
how strong his scoring is, that's still one of the most bizarre decisions I've ever seen in golf. After he flushed the drive as well, like, what are you doing? And the reality is your ass went, but nobody would dare ask him because it's, come on, Rory.
Yeah. I mean, Lipsky made 1.5 million last year, so it's not like he's on the poverty line.
I just think as
He's
a
got to go for the
professional,
win.
the thing is, to me, as a professional golfer, I think you've got to trust yourself to me anyway. I just think that's
Yeah.
if you're backing away from shots like that with a
In the
chance to
words
win a
of Roy
golf
Keane,
tournament,
right?
but
That's his
maybe you'll
job
learn
as
from it.
well. He's not like when you see some of these, do you know what I mean? Amateur riders riding around Cheltenham. I think, well, fair enough. You're not like he's a professional golf player. This is his job. Like, back yourself. Like, Roy Keane said, it's his job. You're a golfer. But never mind.
I suppose the thing is, you could probably go and say, look, the tee shot was so bad that he obviously, who knows, if he wasn't quite settled on the tee, whatever, he just, yeah. I don't know where he's at now in the FedEx Cup list, whether that he's.
But then you
Start on that.
think the pressure goes after hitting that shit tee shot, right?
Well, yeah.
Like you're back to I've got nothing to lose. I've already fucked it. So, and yeah, so as long as he doesn't get in the water, he's got a better chance of making par from wherever he ends up than 110 out.
Now, if it was, if Scotty had done that, what would we be saying?
Genius.
Well, Scotty wouldn't have done it, but but then if it was some guy who was just on unbelievable wedge and putting, you'd think, yeah.
If it was Denny McCarthy
But
and he's laid
for
up
a
so he
play
can
like
give
that,
himself
I think to
9
me, I think he's
feet.
got more chance of. Yeah, I don't know how he can trust his wedge and putting game for, you know.
Well, they keep saying, man, golf is hard.
I just think he'll it's. I just think he'll regret that. As much as he's banked the cash, fair enough. But then there's part of him thinking, well, what if?
What if indeed he will be? I think in the field for this week's Genesis Scottish Open, we'll also see one Scotty Scheffler, the defending champion, local boy Bob McIntyre, and the winner from 2 years ago, Rory McIlroy. Marv, is this just a case of you've been an advocate for lumping on Scheffler this season? I think he's a three-time winner already. We've not really seen him perform at his optimum in links golf yet. Is that something he will need to learn at time? We was having a look back, and Tiger only won 3 Opens, like 2 at St Andrews and 1 at St George, I think. Um,
Hoylake.
Hoylake, sorry. It's a tricky skill, and is Scheffler's game up for links golf? Is that a stupid question?
Not a stupid question. I think the answer is probably not necessarily so. I think if you see, depending when the weather nasty, a bit windy, a bit rainy, sometimes you need to be in not just ultra, in control of your golf ball, but you need to be in control of your golf ball when you're hitting a low shot. I'm sure Scott is in control of his golf ball hitting high bombs, but high bombs are not always the shot around links courses. If he gets perfect weather, yeah, sure. You'd think Scotty is easily the man to beat, but I just think the Open Championship, if you look, I know this is a Scottish, but like the Open and those types of tournaments, you look down the list of winners, they're just so varied to me. Just there's no real same type of golfer from one year to the next.
Not like the
Not saying it's a
PGA
crapshoot,
Championship
but
where you'll be looking for bombers, for example, like a
you've
Justin
got,
Thomas. Or,
is this, how can you compare Rory McIlroy and Rob McIntyre together? You can't. Completely different games. So,
how are we going to get your Wi-Fi sorted? Because Mav, this is terrible. Mav, you going out for 10 seconds? You're trying to speak. It jumps again.
oh well, that means I don't have to speak as much, and probably the listeners will be pleased to hear that.
All seven of them. Rory will presumably have all eyeballs around him for the next 2 weeks. He will be the poster boy for the Open next week at Royal Park Rush. Do you think there is a bit of I wouldn't say lingering feeling? He won the Masters. He completed the Grand Slam 3 months ago, but this feud he's had with the media saying I don't have to do interviews. Do you think he'll get a different reception in Europe? Because he's been the guy, hasn't he, for the DP World Tour. He's been the face of Europe at the Ryder Cup. Um, Americans just don't like Rory, but he seems to be a bit more well liked on home shores.
Yeah, like you say, first tournament back in the UK since completing the Grand Slam. So yeah, you hope he's a bit more forthcoming, and yeah, I don't know how many of the American press travel over. Maybe less for this week than for the next week. Oh, is it 2 weeks until the Open, or is it whatever
The
it
Open
is?
starts in 10 days.
Is it next week? Okay.
Yeah, it's next
Um,
week.
but yeah, I've hopefully he's a bit more forthcoming, a bit more happy. Rory, like you said, he won this 2 years ago. He second to Bobby Mack last year as well.
I think so, yeah. He was definitely
So
up there.
he obviously likes this place from a golfing perspective. Yeah, let's hope we get a bit of a happier Rory. Doesn't have to travel too far from his family, and uh, yeah,
Yeah, fucking multi-millionaire Rory McIlroy is not having the greatest time with things. Poor Rory. I only got
oh,
200 million in the bank. I've won everything I ever set out for in life. But people have been mean to me. Stop picking on me, yeah. Fucking shut the fuck. And that's the thing, right? That we were mentioning off air about attitudes from the media towards certain players and some players getting it. Bryson was very immature 5, 6 years ago, right? He said the Masters should be a par of 68 and blah blah blah, and took the live money and said, don't understand why people are being weird to me. And then for the last 3 years has kind of held his hand, but all right, I get it. I was a bit of a dick, a bit young. I'm going to try and create golf content. I'm going to try and be better with the fans. And he's got himself in a position where he can kind of do whatever or say whatever he wants because he's kind of earned the credibility. And McIlroy's still got that underlying kind of frosty feeling. You think Scheffler's kind of Teflon. He's just a bit boring. Um, Tommy's kind of beloved. Just having a look at the names of this. Aberg. Nobody cares about Ludwig Aberg.
no.
Um, Justin Thomas. Marv, Justin Thomas annoyed you with what did he say? Like these,
it was at the US Open. He They were asking him
how
how
many balls did they lose,
long.
right?
I think it was
How
how
long
long
would
and
it
how much
take
it
them to
would
play
take to
the
get round, or
course?
yeah, how many balls. And he said, would it even finish? Something like crazy. And it wasn't said within a jokey way. Again, unless the media cut that off at the end. But I was surprised at that. I was surprised from Justin Thomas. Maybe he's having a bad day.
We all have them, but like just looking through this list of players that who played this week in terms of characters in the game, um, like Corey Connors, fucking Ryan Fox, Aaron Rai, Harry Hall, Harris English. God, they're such a boring set of cunts out there. I'm sorry. If you're trying to grow the game of golf, like fucking man, if you speak to a random person in the street, Max Grazerman wouldn't know who he was, what he did for a living, what he looked like. Like Marv calls him Mr. Aviator, Ben Griffin, two-time winner on tour this year. People would not have a clue who he was, what he looks like, what he does for a living. This is just this is a bit scary for for the game of golf when you go down. I think like you last week, man. Who the fuck is Jordan Smith? Like, he's a three-time DP World Tour. He's like 15 on the race to Dubai, whatever it's called. Like, doesn't bode well. This does it for the game.
No, I I think we've always known that the DP World Tours has these, you know, plenty of unknowns on there that come out, but it really feels
It's a feeder
like we're
tournament at this point.
scraping the barrel right
Yeah,
now. And maybe the fact that I still don't know how much this is going to work longer term in term with the European Tour, DP World Tour being the feeder, because as you say, if is Jordan Smith in position to get a PGA Tour card next year? Is that Kuvra guy like? Is this just going to become the Premier League and the Championship where it's the
I think so.
same players
It's already
promoted
there,
one
right?
year, relegated the next, promoted one year, relegated the next.
Well,
Like
if you look at the people who got their cards, last year, I think Ryan Fox got his. Um, and what did he won a big tournament just 2 weeks ago. What did he win?
Canadian.
Canadian Open. I mean, it's like A, but then Bob McIntyre, he's come through. Sepp Straka played on the DP World Tour. Um, there's plenty of names in there. Tom Dietrich, another one.
It,
Rasmus Højgaard.
I see what you mean. The only thing I would say is 2 years ago, those players, particularly Stracker and McIntyre, were on the Ryder Cup team. Is Jordan Smith anywhere near deservedly being on a Ryder Cup team?
Or the player who won this week, Daniel Brown. Absolutely not.
That so that's what I mean.
Yeah. They
It's like
yeah, you're right. The top end is still quite strong, other than it's, it's a bit like England. That middle order's a bit yeah, a bit questionable. A bit of pressure comes into it. I'm guessing, Marv,
Brian
you wouldn't
Campbell getting on the Ryder Cup team.
be he's easy fuck. Actually, how many points would he have?
He's
I think he
yeah, just looked at he's 28th on the American team, but he's still
because
a
he
way
won
off. But with
because he
two
won two
wins,
shit
like,
tournaments. I think Keegan would rather pick himself than Brian Campbell. No offense.
can you imagine Brian Campbell?
Fucking, you can sit down,
I
son.
think he'd
I'll
rather
take this
pick
one.
Patrick Reed than Brian Campbell.
Yeah, a
I
fucking
didn't,
Beth
I
Bridge, the shortest hitter on tour.
had to look at it. Patrick Reed's still only 35. Feels like he's been around forever.
He's 30, bloody hell, he's younger than us.
Fat bastard.
He's so old.
We'll be seeing Patrick Reed this week at the Live Golf
Speaking of Patrick Reed,
Andalusia. Hep, who are you most looking forward before we start on the journey? So, who are you looking forward to seeing this week? Is it just Bryson? I bet you can't wait to see Sergio, Miles' favourite golfer,
I think the big
for a
three:
tomato in.
Bryson, Rahm, Hatton,
Pew.
Pug. Yeah,
He played well last week. Played really well.
We nearly brought him
Yeah.
off as well.
Who the
Poulter.
fuck is
Yeah.
David Pugh? Lee Westwood?
Yeah, we're gonna have to decide: are we gonna follow one group round, or are we gonna just pick a spot?
You know we're gonna follow Bryson round. Like,
Oh yeah, I
we're
think
gonna
one
see
day
like
walk the course with Bryson, and another day just find the spot and just wait for everyone to come.
Just follow Garcia around, just heckle him.
Shouting out in Spanish with all the other Spanish fans. Just
Just trying to, I mean, it's Valderrama. There'll be loads of Brits coming up from either down from Marbella or
Yeah.
up from Soto.
yeah.
But I think Paul's will have a big fan base. Did he qualify for the Open? I think him and his son were both in the final, qualifying somewhere in Kent. I don't know if he got through, but
I was just thinking of like Garcia missed out the year before, I think, didn't he, the Open?
McDowell was flying in from Dallas to go and play one of the final qualifiers because obviously Royal Portrush, Northern Irish. But I think he's missed out again. So be
Oh,
interesting
for
to see
fuck's sake!
how. Did he get in?
No, this is Golf Monthly. Sergio Garcia bags Live Golf's Open Championship exemption. Fuck me.
So we'll see Sergio this week at Valderrama.
That's because he's paid his tour fines. European Tour have done something there. Bastards.
The system works. Hey, not a lot of value around this week. Again, I was having a
Hey,
look.
he will be in the Ryder Cup somehow, I'm convinced. Luke Donald, Luke Donald will, yeah,
They're good mates, aren't they? They've been playing together for 20 years.
yeah. I hope he picks him and then American can batter him.
Don't you want Europe to win?
I don't know. Sometimes I don't mind a bit of the competition just because depending which players are on which teams.
Well, you're gonna have McIlroy and Garcia and Ram.
You know I'm not supporting Ram. Come on.
That was spot Rory
But
or
then,
Sergio. Is there any European golfers you do like? I thought
mm,
Fleetwood a bottle job.
probably Justin Rose is all right.
He's like a nice guy, doesn't he? Rosa does a lot with a
Yeah.
charity.
Um,
Um,
I mean McIntyre. I don't know special, but no against McIntyre.
you don't really like fat people, do you? Like, if I can get to the gym, Bob.
But
Big Bob's bastard beans. Anyone
I think
else? Tara
I don't
Hatton?
know. A part of me wants the Americans to win this time.
Shane
What?
Lowry?
How could you
I've got a reason behind it. Yeah.
You talking about Europeans?
No, I just the last however many Ryder Cups. I can't remember the last one that was won on a waste
Medina 2012.
soil. But I said this before. My prediction is that Tiger will captain the Ryder Cup in 2027 because it's at Adair Manor, which JP McManus owns.
JP and he
And I
always
think he's
they're always
yeah,
playing the
and I
prom
think
together, don't they? Him and
yeah,
McCoy and
and the
JP.
reason is I believe that he will captain that because he wants to. There's no point Tiger winning the home Ryder Cup. Who cares? So for me, the longer a team goes without winning on overseas away from home sort of thing.
Your logic makes no
But
sense
what will be
whatsoever.
will be.
But
No, it don't.
uh,
Just a Tiger fan. Yeah.
well, that's in the end. Well, we've got
Yeah.
Marv discussing Tiger for half an hour. We'll upload that at some stage. On to
Lee
something
Westwood
close.
qualified for the Open. Just looking
Come,
at the 20th of May.
come on,
Speaking
Westy.
of Lee Westwood, he is to me the best. This is probably no doubt the best English golfer never to win a major.
I agree.
Oh, he's probably the best player
He's
to
had
try.
so many week one. I know Donald had done it before, but in his prime, I'd be tempted to put Westwood above Donald. To
Him
be
and
honest, you know.
Clark were again. People don't understand how good Tiger was in that era. Like he was having to fend off. Oh, Hep, the fucking Tiger were just beating jobbers. You know what I mean?
So he
He
was
had
fucking beating
fucking,
John compared
he
to
had
the
fucking.
average.
Just David Duval. You know what I mean?
That's what fucking player. That's the equivalent to Rory
Scheffler's
McIlroy.
beating Scheffler's beating Tom Hogan, fucking
How
Harris
did he look at his
English.
ball when he's swinging the club?
Hoagie's better than whoever
Yeah.
the fucking is ranked 28th in the world back then.
Yeah, sure he is. Fucking all these absolute puddings. Oh, Matt Wallace and fucking Ben Ahn. Yeah, well done, Scotty. Another trousers 5 million.
Yeah, Ben Griffin. Who the fuck is Ben Griffin?
Ben
Who
Griffith's
the
better
fuck?
than he was
Who
ever
the fuck
ranked
is
8th
Doug
back
Gim? You
then.
know what I mean? When Tiger would be on the PGA Tour, he'd have Duval and he'd have obviously Mickelson would come through and the old guard there. But he'd also have Ernie Els and VJ Singh, who were different class at that period. And he'd come to Europe and he'd have Monty, Westwood, Clark, and Thomas Bjorn. I know Thomas Bjorn famously beat him in Dubai, but Tiger beating everyone wherever he went.
Yeah, it's. I said I think it's hard to compare because if you look at football, and I don't necessarily think the technology in football has increased from 20, 25 years ago compared to something like golf. To me, the technology is just vastly increased. So comparing eras in golf, I think is much harder. But as you say, look back there, Els, Goosen, the players that were multiple
Retief, yeah,
major
two-time major
champions.
winner Retief.
Do you,
Don't
do you take
forget.
the view that they won majors, they won multiple majors because the fields weren't very good? Or do you take the view that they won multiple majors because they were that good? I know Hep's more on the side of the fields back then potentially were not very good.
Even people like,
And there's
Faldo and
more
Norman
competition
coming to
now.
the twilight of their
But
career as well.
but you see, if let's suppose if Scotty has a 10-year run of doing what he's doing, he will end up with 10 majors. It's
I
just
think Scotty has to go and win in other countries, in other conditions, different hemispheres. I think Tiger won like the Australian PGA at some point. He won in Dubai. He won the Open at St Andrews. He won the Open at Hoylake. he went around in it like Welsh, but like horses, right?
The one thing in favour. No, sorry, I was going. The one thing in favour is Tiger and Scotty are both tailor-made, and I think that has helped massively, in my opinion, with Scotty's progression. The amount that they've probably practiced together, and Scotty's learnt off Tiger. So
They got Hep. We got mentored by the best. Um, all that to say, I think Hep, your last picks for you tipped a couple of very short price forecasts. Um, will we
Yes.
be will we be following suit this week?
No, we will not this week. Yeah, I sort of agree with Marv about his point with Scotty. If you look at his four opens, he's got a couple of top tens with an eight for the seventh, but then a couple of 20s. I'm not sure I can find his Scottish record quickly, but it's definitely like his worst performing of the majors so far. So yeah, not going to be picking up Scotty or any Scotty forecast this week, and yeah, I'm gonna probably mistake, but gonna leave Rory alone as well, and Tommy in third favorite. We're not going there. My the first pick I'm gonna go is Sepp Stracker. 50 to 1 seems to be on the drift. Not entirely sure why. I think he's a decent links player. Obviously Austrian, and has had a bit of success. Well, couple of wins this year on the PGA Tour. He had a third at Memorial 3 weeks ago, or at the start of June. So yeah, I sort of saw someone I highlighted or had sort of penciled in for open bets earlier this year, and he's out at 50 to 1 off. Yeah, 51 five places. He'll be my first pick for this week.
First bit for Mr. Hep. Do like Sepp Stracker a lot. I think he's got a very good chance. Marv, over to you.
yeah, just looking at the weather actually. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's all like 20s, 22, 19. So decent weather, and you'd think that the course is probably going to be quite firm. It's that wind speed and what havoc that could cause. So maybe it could be a week for Scotty. Um, Again, like, Tiger over the years when he's had success, he's not even bothered with the driver. It's just iron off the tee, fairway every time. Um, Easy game. But I'm definitely not picking Scotty this week. I think his price has gone a lot of things. I know he's actually 4 to 1. Nah. My first pick is going to be Aaron Rai at 50 to 1. And
Now's his favorite
just
golf.
just because he wears two gloves.
Yeah.
Cover that wind.
No, to be fair, last year, if I can find it, he finished tied fourth. So that's what I'm clinging on to.
How many
In
places
depth
is that?
research.
And he missed the cup 2 years for each year before that. So place terms Hep is he is 50s with Betfred, but I tend not to go with Betfred because they're not as bigger as.
Not as bigger.
But this is Monday night. Maybe some other firms will go. I'll take a Betfred as 50 to 1 8 places. I wouldn't go with the Unibet or any others. They're just too smaller. Try and stick to the main ones.
I've got four out at big price. I don't like Americans at this tournament. Um, I think especially with jet lag and traveling, especially those that played this week. I know Sander won a few years ago, but look at previous winners of this. Ricky somehow won this in 2015, but otherwise, with the previous winners, McIntyre, McIlroy, Minwoo Lee won in 2021. He was a DP World Tour member at the time. Aaron Rai won this 2020. Wiesberger, Brandon Stone, Cabrera Bello, Noren, etc. DP World Tour players play really well. I've got four who've won in the last 12 months. Big prices. We'll do 1.5 points each way on the duo of Kaita Nakajima and Martin Couver. Couver, a winner 2 weeks ago. He's only like 22-year-old French kid. He shapes the ball really nicely. I think he's got a big future. Same with Nakajima, who's a stud. He's going to be following the footsteps of Matsuyama. They're both 180 to 1 with 10 places. We'll put 1.5 points each way on both them two. And even bigger, Jorge Campillo, who Hep will know I'm a serial backer of. And Callum Hill. Callum Hill won for the second time on tour back in March at the Joburg Open, winning a three-way playoff. He's a Scottish kid. He's born not far from here. He's got a good record in the tournament. And Campillo and Callum Hill, 300 to 1, will have a point each way on them two, both at 10 places. So Kuva and Nakajima, the young studs, and the more grizzled vets with Campillo and Hill. 180s and 300s will gladly take a place and cash a bit of profit this week.
The other one of your boys I was eyeing up at 2,000 to 1 was Lazarapel Pablo.
Pablo's, yeah, he's a 2,000 to 1. That's insane.
For 5 places, you get 900s for 12 places. I put him down as my long shot. I've got half a point each way on him just because I know you like to back him. And yeah, going for that DP player at very long odds to nick a top 12.
He's a serial winner. Like Lara Thalbert, he had a poor weekend. He finished out 54th. He's 42. Been around a bit now, but he always speaks like how lucky he is to have this job. He won twice in 2022 and twice in 2023. He come back with a bit of an injury. I like it a lot. And that's a big price, 900 to 1. He did lose a three-way playoff. Do you remember he had that 6 foot of a par in Bahrain? Was it 6 4? It was 4 foot, wasn't it? Then he lost, and then he hit his tee shot in the water at the first playoff hole. So he has had chances this year. God, I've got so many
someone else
big
obviously
stocks.
seen it because it was 1,000 to 1 when we started, and now it's down to 900s for 12 places. So the money's coming in.
We'll give you the thousands if you want, Hef. We'll give you the better price.
My second guy, purely just going off odds, he's been playing well. He was Marv's pick last week, Denny McCarthy, 125s. Obviously, isn't a big hit in American, so hopefully this type of golf will suit him a bit better than your other big hitting ones that have come across. And yeah, 125 just seemed too high for a guy that's playing well, and yeah, doesn't seem to be in the category of the other players around him. I would say he's better than Michael Kim and Thurston Lawrence and Smalley and Daniel Brown and Hodges. So yeah, 125s. I think that's a pretty big, decent price for Denny McCarthy. And I'll have 2 each way on him, 2.5 each way on Sepp Straka, as mentioned earlier, and half a point each way on Lazarapel.
Right, when you're in Spain this week, you can actually try and not be an uncultured pig and pick up a bit of the. How long do you live in Spain? Like 6 years?
6 years. I learned enough.
What a mass.
Master cerveza, por favore.
Can you imagine, Marv, I've got to use him as an example of Britishness.
La cuenta, por favore.
Okay, now.
What's-
Can't believe
I still got it.
somebody's
Still-
marrying him. Okay.
A Spanish girl as well.
Must be drunk a lot. Marv, your tips this week? I do like Denny, by the way. Marv put Denny up at 10 times. You've got 10 times what he put him up at last week.
Yeah, yeah. He just never got close enough, and he just threw a bad hole in somewhere. Like
He made bad mistakes and he bogeys at poor times.
yeah, and he just never nearer. Fucking staying on.
And for the notebook.
No, my second golfer. I'm wondering about Harry Hall just for the alliteration. To be honest,
Just because he wears a flat cap.
No, actually, just because he's got a flat cap.
He does, yeah.
Yes.
Come on, Marv.
And no, the second is going to be Tom Kim. In the last 3 years, in this court, he's had a third and a tied sixth. That was 3 years ago. 2 years ago, tied sixth. He's getting worse, but he has had a third and a tied sixth and a tied 15th.
He's definitely going to be worse again this week.
So probably a tied 65th, missed the cut by one. Yeah, yes. I'll go. I'm going to switch Aaron Rye from Betfred to Hills just to go Hills with both. So just to recap, Aaron Rye is 50s with Hills, 6 places. That's a 3 points each way. And Tom Kim is 75 with Hills, 6 places. And that's 2 points each way.
I mean, we've got like fucking 10 golfers between the three of us. It must be something to clip up in contention and because a bit of good editing shows that we're actually good tipsters.
We seem to do okay first round, and then it just Saturday goes to shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, had 4 rounds of golf in it.
It's Saturday, man.
Should we start tipping on Liv? Might do all right with 3 rounds.
This horse was doing really well. Yeah, he was in the league 2 furlongs from home. Yeah, what about the finish line? Anyway, fucking Hector. Hector put us away.
He won over 6 furlongs.
Withdrew.
Yeah, but the race was 8.
Hector did tell me as well. He was going to Ripon to ride one today. Couldn't get beat. It got beat.
Shit bastard.
Honestly, like he never like not fancy one. Shows what price it go off. What time was it? 9 o'clock? 8:30. Kalinsky went 15-8. Race wide in touch 2 out weekend. Finished 5th of 7. Didn't back it thankfully, but he's one of those people. Yeah, really fancy this today. You fancy every horse, like. I suppose I appreciate his like optimistic spirit. You don't say, "Yeah, I'm riding this fucking donkey." No chance. I'd love him. We'll see what he fancies this weekend at the July meeting. To reiterate before we finish, 1.5 points each way on Kaden Nakajima and Martin Kuvra, 180s and a point each way on the Grizzled Vets, Jorge Campillo and Harry Hill. Give us your 2 picks, your 3 tips again, please.
Were yours all 10 places?
They are all 10 places. Yeah.
2.5 each way on Sepp Stracker at 50s, 5 places. 2 each way on Denny, 90s with 10 places, and half a point on Olazabales, 1,000 to 112 places.
And Marv, your 2 are Tom Kim and Aaron
Rye.
We've got William Hill, and there's 1, 2, 3. I think 7 golfers. 1, 2, 3. God, I can't count. 9 golfers between the 3 of us. That's 30 point spread. I think one place gets us a profit, or at least more or less break even. You got a bit of it for the week.
How many missed the cut? Under or over?
I said 3.5.
Over.
3.5. I mean, to be fair, if you look at the prices,
we have got a few.
It's not like we're tipping up fucking Scheffler and Fleetwood, and they're going, yeah, well, they made the cut. Well, we'll see how they get on. We'll be back next week for an in-depth preview of the Open Championship at Royal Port Rashford Marv. We'll be hoping history repeats itself. Not an Irish winner, Rory McIlroy missing the cut.
We're not providing content from Liv as well. Like they are giving us free tickets as content creators. So
giving us free tickets, us content creators. Hep doesn't even know the email address. Right, yeah, we'll keep an eye on us on Twitter. We'll throw some stuff up. We'll try and get an interview with Bryson. Fingers crossed. Until then, we'll be
interview with Bryson.
Look, you got to reach for the stars, baby. We'll see you all next week. Ta-ra.